Welcome to Meditations from the Mound, a ministry of the Chestnut Mound Church of Christ located in Chestnut Mound, Tennessee. My name is Carver Moore, and I'm one of the ministers for the Chestnut Mound congregation. And in the time that we have tonight, I want to look at the topic of singing. Friends, one of the most oft asked questions to me and to other members of the Lord's church that was established on Pentecost all the way back in Acts chapter number 2 is why don't we use mechanical instruments in our worship? Well, I want you to look with me at the book of Ephesians, chapter number 5 and verse number 19. That's Ephesians 5 and verse number 19. Here, Paul, writing to the church at Ephesus, tells us, speaking to one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord. Now, friends, this is a very straightforward verse, and it tells us to sing and make melody in your hearts. That doesn't mean with the accompaniment of any musical instrument, any mechanical instrument. Friends, it's very straightforward. It lays it all out on the line for us. And I want you to also look with me at the book of Colossians, chapter number 3 and verse number 16. That's Colossians, chapter number 3 and verse number 16. Paul writing here to the church at Colossae, he says, "Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another." Friends, now don't miss this. "In psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Lord." So friends, do you see the similarities? Paul tells the church at Ephesus and us today to sing and make melody in your hearts. And in Colossians chapter number 3 and verse number 16, he tells us once again to sing and make melody in our hearts. He doesn't say sing and make melody with a trumpet or with a piano or a flute or a clarinet or any kind of musical instrument that you can think of. And friends, I know that most people in the denominational world, they base their use of mechanical instruments on the Old Testament. But friends, did you know if you go to BibleGateway.com and type in the search musical instrument or singing, and in the Old Testament, the mechanical or singing is mentioned 158 times in the Old Testament. But out of 17 of those times, musical instruments are used. So 17 times out of 158 times. So we see there that they didn't have to rely on mechanical instruments that often. And now, friends, you may be asking yourself, well, it's the Old Testament, it's written in the Bible, surely that gives me authorization to use mechanical instruments in our worship services. But friends, not so fast. I want you to look with me at the book of Romans, chapter number 15 and verse number 4. That's Romans 15 and verse number 4. Paul, once again, speaking here to the church at Rome, as well as us today. Romans 15 verse number 4, Paul talks about the differences between the Old Testament and the New Testament, and how we're to treat the Old Testament in today's times. So Romans 15 and verse number 4 tells us, "For whatever things were written before were written for our learning, that we through the patience and comfort of the Scriptures might have hope." So friends, Paul tells us there in Romans 15 and verse number 4 that we are not governed by the old law anymore. The things that are written in the old law, meaning there's 17 instances of using instrumental music in the Old Testament is not authorized today. Friends, we use the New Testament. The New Testament was authorized by Jesus' blood. When Jesus was born, back in Matthew chapter number 2, that put in place a whole new law. And when he established a church on Pentecost, that's what set everything up that you see in the Lord's church today. So friends, I hope that this short meditation from the mound has answered some questions, answered some curiosity about why the Lord's church, again, that was established on Pentecost in Acts chapter number 2, that Jesus purchased with his blood, Matthew chapter number 28. I hope that this study answered some of those questions of why we don't use mechanical instruments in our worship. Why instead we choose to sing and make melody in our hearts right here. Friends, thank you once again so much for watching. If we can help you in any way spiritually, maybe sit down and study the Bible with you, we hope that you will reach out to us at the Chestnut Mound Church of Christ. We're located at 545 Pea Ridge Road, just off Highway 70 in Chestnut Mound, Tennessee. If you would like to join us sometime for our services, we would be absolutely tickled to death if you would do so. We would be our honored guest, and again, we would love to sit down and answer some of these Bible questions for you. So friends, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and may God bless you.